Hi everybody, welcome to the OAG. I am Craig. Thank you very much for joining me today. This is a new series, effort, don't know what I want to call it really. I'm trying something different, and this is a section I'm going to call Wrenching with the OAG, bench, top, building, repairing, chat along with the OAG. I don't know what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it something along those lines. Basically, I'm going to sit here and work on this RC while the camera rolls and while I talk to you all about stuff that's happening in the RC hobby, stuff that's happening on the channel, stuff that's happening on other channels that I watch and I like, and anything else that you guys really want me to chat about. So, where are we starting today? We're starting with this monstrosity, which is the Falcon that I broke during the Orchard Raceway this year. You probably haven't seen me break this yet, but don't worry, that action is coming on the OAG channel at some point in the next couple of weeks, and you can see exactly what happened to this when I bust it, and I won't tell you how it happened. Needless to say, my driving is not all it's cracked up to be. So unfortunately, as you can see, I broke something here. I can't even remember what it was I broke now. But I have got some 3D printed spare parts, which is great. And it should be a relatively easy fix, other than this bit also got a bit buckled, but we'll sort that out in a minute. The bit I lost, unfortunately, when I was getting all the pieces together, is I lost some of the screw pins. So I bought a new bag of screw pins, and we're just going to go ahead and put this back together again. I've still got the shock, and I've still got some other bits and bobs that came off it at the same time, and we'll have a go at just piecing it back together. It should be fairly straightforward, which means I should have plenty of time to concentrate chatting to you guys about other stuff that's going on in the RC community. So, where shall we start? I'll tell you what, it's blooming cold here in the UK. I'm sure for some of my colleagues, friends, fellow viewers and listeners that live in colder climates, you won't quite understand what we're talking about here in the UK. It is just above freezing. But us UK residents, or certainly us southerner UK residents, are not used to the cold, and I am really suffering today. It's cold down in the studio. I've got a little heater, a little space heater in here. I've put it on, so hopefully it heats up a little bit and I'm not quite as cold while I am working on this. Right, let's get going. I will try and talk and build and do everything that I have to do all at the same time. I might have to reposition you guys over here somewhere, but we can do that, look, and then I can get in and get a little bit easier access past the camera while I continue to chit-chat to you. I'm just trying to get my notes up. I made some notes because I was trying to be really prepared of all the different things I wanted to talk about, and for some reason my notes aren't coming through on my other screen, which is really, really annoying. So I shall take a minute out and just try and do that. I'm still talking to you. I'm going to edit this, so maybe I'll edit this out. Maybe I'll leave it in. I haven't decided yet. But one way or another, you'll find out, because you'll either see it or you won't. Right, we're back. I got it sorted. I've got all my notes now. I know what I'm doing. Hopefully, although some of you who watch the channel on a regular basis will probably know that I don't really know anything that I'm doing half the time, to be quite honest. But we'll give it a go. I'll make it look like I know what I'm doing. So, first thing I've got to do is I've got to put this smaller step screw pin in here somewhere. Which one's it going to be? It's not that one. It's not that one. I'm sure it's not that one either. So I don't quite know which one it's supposed to be. Be one of them, won't it? It's probably the longer one, isn't it, that goes in there? Nope. Too long. Oh, I've only gone bought the wrong size, haven't I? That sums me up, that does. So I've got the right size. I think I've got the right size for the one at the bottom. That's that one that goes in there. like that. But that wasn't the one that I lost. I lost the top one, and I bought a screw for the bottom one, which is, you know, that's typical of me, isn't it? Absolutely typical. And they don't actually go through there at all either. What a nightmare. That's not a good start already, is it? Hey, you come here to watch me repair this, and I haven't even got the right bits and pieces in which to do it, which is, well, it's a bit of a shocker, really, isn't it? But you guys don't expect anything less, really, do you? Than me making an absolute mess of everything. So, where should we start chatting? Should we start talking about new RC releases while I see if I can sort out the finish on this A-arm? So, what have we got coming out? Well, there is the Rlaarlo S10, which is all over the place at the minute. And if I'm really good in my editing, I will put a picture of that somewhere on the screen so you guys know exactly what it is we're talking about. You know, if you've been living under a rock for the last couple of days. So Rlaarlo have released this new rally chassis. It's about a year, actually, I think, since they released their last one, which was the, I can't remember. It was 1/10 scale, and it looked like it had a forward focus body on it. And it got really good reviews. Everyone thought it was brilliant. My mate Phil over at Poor Boys RC had one and drove it and loved it. And Mark Bryan drove one and loved it as well. And he's got some great videos of him bashing it about at a skate park. And it goes really, really, really well. And it makes you wonder, what could have Rlaarlo done that would have made that any better? Well, they have tried very, very hard to make that RC better. And what they've started off by doing is they've made the body shells, or they've made it a standard width. So what that means is standard touring car style body shells or rally shells will now fit onto that chassis, which opens up lots and lots of possibility for those of us who like our Tamiya body shells, because they will fit on that chassis perfectly going forward, which is really good news if you're into your rally chassis or rally bodies. You're going to be able to put anything you want on that, which is going to be great, because I think we're going to see some really interesting custom bodies, custom design bodies, and more traditional rally shells going on there, which is going to be great. It looks really, really good, and I think it's had quite good reviews so far. Well, no, I say it's had quite good reviews. It's had some mixed reviews because it is a production-only model they put out to the reviewers. They sent it to loads of YouTube channels to review and give their opinions on the S10. Both Mark and Phil, who I've just mentioned, have had review copies. And, I'm lucky, really, because I get to chat to those guys on the podcast, and they shared some of their views off camera with me of that rally chassis before we did the last podcast. So I kind of knew what to expect. I knew what was coming a little bit. They didn't totally spoil it for me. They were like, "Oh, mate, you wait till you see it. You're really going to like this one." Then I watched their videos, like I'm sure many of you did, and it looked really, really, really good. Phil did a great video, took it to his usual testing area, did some rallying with it, and I think it looked great, and he gave a really good overview before he went and did that. Mark did a great in-depth review of the chassis and the body before he then took it out to a skate park. And yeah, he got some great shots of it sort of drifting around him as he stood there. And yeah, Mark's a pretty good RC driver, but it looked amazing. Really, really, really good. And they both really liked it. They didn't really have many negatives, other than I know they both had a few issues with some of the pre-production stuff, but I don't think they really played into that in their reviews because they kind of knew about it. Because Rlaarlo, I think, were very upfront and said, "Look, guys, this is a new review, a new model. It's pre-production. There's gonna be some issues with it. Bear with us. We'll have it all sorted out by the time it goes into production." But I think some other YouTubers didn't necessarily give Rlaarlo the benefit of the doubt there, and they gave them quite a hard time over the fact that it wasn't quite finished. And I don't know how you guys feel about that. I suppose if a company's been up front and said, "It's not finished yet, we've still got some work to do," I think you'd probably give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, maybe point some of those flaws out, but don't don't publicly go, oh, this is rubbish, because they know there's some problems. They're going to fix it. Now, I know lots of people have got their views on Rlaarlo, and I've not had a Rlaarlo model, so I can't really comment, other than I've seen plenty of people driving them, and they look all right. I think you've got to think about how they're priced. They're priced, I think, quite reasonably, those Rlaarlo models. So that S10 is $330, I think it is. Ready to run. So you get your receiver, you get your battery, you get the brushless system in there for $330 bucks. Feels like, I think, pretty good value for money. Sorry, I've paused. I'm thinking. Oh, that looks like it's going through that side. Oh, it's still going through that other side. Yeah, so $330, and then, I mean, that is an introductory price, but I don't think anyone pays full price for a Rlaarlo. There's always some deal or offer to be had, so you just got to be patient, right? And then they do a roller only, which has none of the electronics that goes inside. And that one's priced at $199, which is the same price as the old model as a runner only, which again, I think is pretty good value. You get in the upgraded chassis, which you can fit any body shells to. It's got more standard wheels on it as well, I believe. And they've fixed a few little niggly issues with it. But I think broadly speaking, it's the same sort of chassis. I think it looks good. And I think it does present some decent value for money. Now, the proof's in the pudding, right? So now they've put that out there. They've now got to make good on it. They've got to fix those pre-production issues. They've got to get the pre-orders made. They've got to get it out into the wild. And then we will see what others make of it when they get their S10s, whenever production is complete. I would imagine people aren't going to be seeing those this side of Christmas. Maybe they will. Maybe I'm wrong. And we shall see. So, good luck, Rlaarlo. Good little launch. I joined their live stream for a little bit today and watched a little bit of that. Thought they did a really good job building up some hype for their RC. They're a new company, so we should give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. And, good luck to them. It's a difficult hobby to break into. And I think they're trying to do all the right things. They're trying to be open and honest with people. And they're trying to build up a bit of goodwill. I think there's, like anything in life, right? You can have a bad experience and people can make mistakes. And I think maybe Rlaarlo have made a mistake or two as they've been going along and building up their RCs. So let's see where they get to. So yeah, that is the S10 by Rlaarlo. Now, this is proving to be quite tricky. This is not easy. When you regret starting something on camera and thinking, kind of wish I hadn't started doing this because I'm going to be here all blooming night doing this. But it'll be a lot easier with the Dremel, but that will be a lot louder for you guys watching me filing down this while I'm talking to you about other RC cars. Pretty boring, isn't it? But I bet many of you are, well, I'm sure there's some people that have turned off already and decided it's not worth watching this pillock do this. Well, as well as others of you that are enjoying listening to me chat on and rabble on about RCs. Now, this Falcon was sent to me by Paul Coughlin over at Coughlin Corners RC. Paul, if you're watching, thank you very much for sending this over to me. I've broken it already, which I'm sure you weren't expecting when you packaged it all up all across the other side of the world and sent it over to me. I'm sure you were not expecting me to break it first run out. And it was literally first run out. And I bust it. What a plonker. But as many of you will know, the Falcon is a really, really, really difficult car to work on these days. It's hard to get the parts because Tamiya have not reread this particular model. I don't know why they haven't reread it. Maybe Tamiya didn't like it. Maybe Tamiya are worried that there's too many other faults and difficulties with this particular model in the modern day where you can't really launch. I mean, just talking about that S10 launch, you can't really launch a RC model these days and get away with it not performing or you know, not doing what you intend it to do. Because the minute it breaks, the minute something goes wrong with it, everybody's on the internet. Oh, it's rubbish. Oh, Tamiya re-released this and it didn't work and it broke first time and blah, 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 blah. So maybe they're just trying to avoid that type of thing happening with the Falcon, and there's no point in re-releasing it if it's just going to get them bad press, is there? Right, what else can we talk about? I was looking on the internet earlier today, and I saw the Kyosho Veco Mini. And I'll put a picture up on the screen so you can take a look at what that looks like. It is a 1/24th scale stadium truck. Oh, I think it looks pretty cool. I found this for sale on Model Sport, although it's down as pre-order. It said they were supposed to be in stock today, but yeah, maybe some people did get their versions today. But it goes for £40. £40 for a 1/24th scale stadium truck. And what piqued my interest on this, well, for the start, £40 is a bargain. But check this out. This is what it says for £40. Built-in gyro, electronic stable system, keeps it perfectly controlled even on slippery surfaces. Comes later on with a LiPo battery included, which is easily rechargeable with the supplied USB cable. 2.4 gigahertz, fully proportional steering, throttle and steering, built-in gyroscope, electronic stability control, smooth precision handle everywhere. Lexan body, stylish and incredibly durable, ready to handle off-road action. You can reduce the maximum speed to suit your driving ability. What's it got here? 300 milliamp hour LiPo battery. Got the gyro with the ESP, maximum speed adjustable for beginners, about 20-minute run time. What more do you want? That sounds great. It doesn't tell me how fast it is, but for £40 for a 1/24th scale mini RC, that sounds like it's a perfect stocking filler for people at this time of year. Or if you've got an RC friend who you're looking to get them a Christmas present for, I think that would be pretty cool. If someone bought me one of those for Christmas, I would be a happy little camper. So much so, but I am considering spending £40 of my hard-earned money and getting one of those and doing a little review on it, because I think it could be good fun. I've always wanted a 1/24th scale little buggy to take with me when I go travelling and things like that, and just, you know, sit in the hotel room in the evenings and drive it about, and I think it'd be good fun. But I've just not found the right one. Oh, it's almost in there. I can't put this in with it being too tight, because it won't do the sort of pivoty bit that you need it to do. If it's really tight in there, it's just not going to work. So I've got to keep going at this until I get it so it's sort of not going to stick, because that will be an absolute fail. I've got a horrible feeling I'm going to have to do the same with the other one in a minute as well. Paul, next time you're 3D printing these, mate, make the holes a little bit bigger. So yeah, what do you think about that Kyosho little stadium-y trucky thing at 1/24th scale? How many of those have you guys got? Because there's like the Losi one, isn't there? And there's what else is there that's on 1/24th scale? There's some Kyoshos that are probably 1/24th. It's probably about the same sort of size as the Minis, isn't it? The Mini Z that they do, the Kyosho Mini Z. And yeah, I don't know. They do like an entry level Mini Z, don't they? For beginners, and I just wonder how. That's still a bit too tight. I wonder how that stadium truck's going to compare to those beginner Mini Zs. Because I looked at those, because again, I found those for like £50, £60, and I just thought, man, they're going to be too slow. And then I found a video, and I was right. They were dialed way down, way too slow, and probably wouldn't have been that much fun. Nice, we're in business. For an RC geek like me. So, Kyosho Mini. That's pretty cool. I like the look of that. What should we chat about next? Do you want to talk about the Traxxas RS200? Do you want to talk about that? We talked about that on the podcast the other week. And I think there was a bit of a debate going on about whether it was 1/10 scale or not. And Phil put me in my place and said, It's definitely not 1/10 scale, mate. It's definitely smaller than that. And you know what? By heck, he was right. It is smaller than that. It is, well, it looks like it's 1/16 scale. But it's got 1/10 scale parts, which I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. If you're watching me do this, yes, I could have taken the bumper off, but that would have been way more hassle, and it was way easier doing it that way. Right, we've got our arm on, which is great. So, Traxxas RS200, I'll put a picture on the screen up there for you guys so you can see it. I think it looks cool. I think it looks cool. I don't think I'd buy a Traxxas, but I think it looks cool because I like the RS200. I mean, what an iconic rally car that thing is. Absolutely brilliant. So I do like the look of it. However, it is just way, way, way too expensive, man. Traxxas have priced that thing in the UK at £459, and it's just, I'm not spending 400, and I'm also not finding this out on camera. I'm not spending £459 on a Mini. There's just no way, man. That's just not happening for me. That is too blooming expensive, which is a real shame because I think that was a nice looking RC, but I'm just not spending that sort of money on it. It's just not happening. I've just realised that this is not going to fit in here either, is it? 3D printed parts, mate. They absolutely are not the future. They are not the future. I mean, it's cool that I'm able to get this onto the Falcon, but they just require so much fettling and sorting out. Life's too short for 3D parts, but I wouldn't be driving this Falcon without it, so I guess I've got some more filing to do, unfortunately. Next time I do one of these episodes, I am not going to do 3D printed parts when I do it, okay? We'll do something a little bit more easier for me to sort out while I chat to you guys. Right, so what else have we got coming out? What have you guys been seeing on the channel recently? I've been doing some reviews. You may not like the reviews. I don't necessarily like doing reviews, but I thought I'd give it a go. I had some great companies contact me. I had GT Power reach out and said they wanted to chuck a few charges my direction. And they also sent me that awesome sound unit. Oh my gosh, I love that thing that I put into the lunchbox. And that is so fun. My nephew came over and I turned the lunchbox on and he just beamed when he saw that thing and the noise that it was making. He loved it. It was so cool. I'm such a big kid when it comes to stuff like that. And yeah, that was just cool. And the chargers they sent me are really good as well. So good, actually. I sold the charger that I had. I was using a different LiPo charger. And I sold it because there's more functions on the GT Power one than on the one that I bought, which I was really pleased about. And it charges at a faster rate, which is cool. So very happy with that. And then I also reviewed, what else have I reviewed? I reviewed those LiPo batteries. They were cool. Never experienced LiPo batteries before. And the guys and girls over at Hobby King sent me the LiPos, or that LIHV batteries. So cool. So pleased I am now part of that world. So thank you to those guys for sending me those to review. I have got a couple of shorty packs that I've got to finish a review, and they're fully charged. They're ready to go. I'm ready to play. But I've been working too much and I've not had a chance to be able to get out with them. So hopefully this weekend, otherwise they're going to have to go back and storage charge again. And we're going to have to try another day, try to play another day. Good. It's just that one side that we need to sort out. We're almost there. Yeah, and then the Orchard Raceway, you know, finally, after months of sitting on that content, not putting it out mainly because I was so upset that I trashed the Falcon, and I've also trashed some other cars, which you haven't seen yet as well, which you might see me working on in future wrenching episodes. Yeah, so Orchard Raceway content is back. If you haven't seen that, yeah, there's some pretty fast runs already around the Orchard. The DT model's going well. I love the DT chassis. I think they're great. DT02, DT03, DT04 now as well. Tamiya make a really nice, affordable buggy. And I've been having a bit of... nostalgia is the wrong word, because nostalgia is when you want for old things. I've been having a bit of a realization about this hobby, and many of you won't agree, and maybe I'll discuss it with the guys on Talks Tamiya at some point. But this hobby gets expensive, doesn't it? You know, especially when you buy a really nice or an old vintage RC and you break it, and you've got an awful lot of work to do to fix it back up again. Man, does it get pricey. I bought a Kyosho, what was it? Something or other. I was a Optima Mid. I bought that last year, year before last, and I built it up. And I did it at the same time I bought the Top Force Evo. And I drove them both, and I preferred the Top Force Evo. And lots of people did not agree with me. Lots of people told me I didn't know what I was talking about because, you know, the Optima's a race car and the Evo isn't a race car and blah, 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 blah. And yet, you know what? They might be right, and they're all entitled to their own opinions. And I probably am wrong. But I did enjoy driving the Evo more than I enjoyed. Sorry, that's wrong. Yeah, I did. I enjoyed driving the Evo more than I enjoyed driving the Mid. And I also was really worried that driving around that Optima Mid, if I broke it, it's so much harder for me to work out how to get spares in the UK than it would have been to get spares, or is to get spares, for a Top Force Evo. Because there are more availability of spares for Tamiya in the UK, it seems, than there is to get Kyosho spares. So I sold it on. I moved it on. That was a buggy that I had wanted ever since I was a boy. But I didn't want to keep it because I was afraid that I want to drive my RCs. I don't want to sit them on a shelf and look at them. I want to actually get out and drive them. I want to break them, and I want to be able to repair them. Because, believe it or not, I know I'm sat here fussing about this, but I do enjoy repairing my RCs. I do enjoy running them. And it doesn't matter if they break sometimes because I want to be able to fix them up and repair them. But I don't want £100 repair bills on an RC car. That, to me, is taking the fun a little bit out of it. And I was feeling that with some of those higher-end models, that's where I was heading. I was heading to big repair bills. I was heading to unaffordability of keeping the things running. So I sold off the Top Force. No, Top Force, I didn't sell. Stay back. Stop. I didn't sell the Top Force. I sold the Optima Mid, okay? And I also sold, I had an Ultima, and I sold that. And the same guy bought the Ultima and the Optima, so thank you for that. But in the meantime, I've also had a bit of a feeling that I probably can't afford to run all these RC cars. It's an expensive hobby. It gets expensive. You know, I started this hobby to get my Kyosho Raider, my boyhood Kyosho Raider car, working again. And stupidly decided to create a YouTube channel because I wanted to document the journey of repairing the Raider. And here I am 4-something years later. Might even be 5 years now. And I'm still recording videos and posting them up onto YouTube. I've recorded well over 400 videos now and posted them up for all manner of things. And I actually realised that I quite enjoy making the videos. I probably enjoy making the videos as much as I enjoy running the cars now. I don't necessarily enjoy building them, but I do enjoy the art of making a video and chatting to the camera and talking to people and making friends from all over the world and chatting to them too. It's good fun. Sharing a hobby with people is well, it's part of what it's all about for me. But I don't want to do that with $300, $400, $500 or pound RC cars. So I have got rid of all of the expensive cars I had. I've sold them, or I haven't given them away. I've sold most of them. The last of which I've popped on eBay this weekend. And yeah, I think I'm just going to concentrate more on the affordable part of the hobby than chasing the expensive parts of the hobby, because it's not cheap. And any of you guys who do this know that hobby always comes last when it comes to fun money. So there's holidays, there's, you know, time out with the family, all that stuff for me has to come before I come down here and buy more toys for me to tinker away with at weekends and evenings in my garage. So, yeah, I got rid of I had an egress that I bought, and I've got rid of that. I had the DBO ones, and I've got rid of those because they're just lovely cars, but I'm so scared about running them now. And what else have I sold? I sold the TD4, but that wasn't because it was an expensive car necessarily. I sold that because it was a pain in the backside to work on. So I've had a bit of a clear out, and it's made me feel good, actually. Clearing out a couple of cars has made me feel good. It's created some space, actually, for me to get a few new ones. But I'm going to try and find ones that are affordable. I'm going to try and find RCs to buy that won't break the bank when they break. You know, they'll be affordable. And some of them, yeah, like this one, will be old vintage RCs that I can repair and play around with and break and repair again. So, what have I picked up? Well, when we talk about affordability, perhaps this one was the wrong end of the scale. I've got an XV01T. I can't remember what the name of that model is, but it's like a stadium truck. And the guy I bought that off, I mean, there's me wanting cheap RCs, right? And this thing is in a right state. He bought it, and I think it had been jumped into a swamp and just drowned. Everything was rusted. Everything was bust. It was an absolute mess. And the guy stripped it all back, got it all cleaned up, got rid of all the hardware. And what he's got is almost a complete kit. What's missing are the shocks and a few screws and bits and pieces, which, you know, I don't have a particularly good track record of buying the right screw pins, but I'm sure I'll do a better job when it comes to that one. So I've got that to build up, which is quite exciting. Looking forward to that. I've got that TA01 stadium truck that I picked up as well to build. That was an absolute bargain, complete kit for like £90 of a vintage RC. So pleased with that. So I'm looking forward to building that. Again, that's loosely based on the DB01, not DB01, DF01 chassis, the same one as the Top Force. So that's cool. Should be plenty of parts around for TA1s, TA02s. Should be able to keep that going. Not a problemo. I'm in the market for another DTO4, but I've just not taken the plunge on that yet. At some point, I want to get another one of those because I quite enjoyed the build of that. And I'm quite interested in picking another one of those up because I really like that chassis. Really like that chassis. It's cool. And it drives really nicely as well. So I want to get another one of those. But yeah, I kind of got to the point where I just want to have affordability back in the hobby for me again. So that's my focus going forward. Affordable RCs. And that also means I'll probably pick up some more ready-to-runs. And I won't be picking up the Traxxas RS200 because at £459, it is way above my price point. What I did see, and again, I'll put a picture up on the screen. I did see a Hobbytech X-Mid 2-wheel drive 1/10 buggy kit for sale on Model Sport. Now, I've done very limited research into this company. This is a French RC manufacturer. It has a modern chassis design with a mid-motor layout, optimizing weight distribution for improved handling stability. A mid-motor layout on a 2-wheel drive buggy. Very nice. Reminds me of the Raider. It's got quick access gear differential, making maintenance and tuning easy. The gear diff is ideal for carpet and Astro tracks. Not dirt on the Ultra Raceway, but we'll prove that. Advanced front suspension geometry with adjustable settings via turnbuckles with reverse threads. It's got 13mm aluminium shock absorbers for superior dampening, aerodynamic body design that reduces drag. It's got a bitty design body, and it comes in a kit form, and it requires full assembly. You get alloy hardened chassis, alloy shock absorbers, sealed gear differential, clear body and wing, tough, durable design. You need to provide your own electronics, but I think it looks really, really nice. I like the design. It looks like it's got a bit of a cab forward design, so that's not to everyone's taste, but I quite like it. In fact, I really quite like it. So I am looking forward to getting me one of those because I think it looks brilliant. Yeah, and again, £168 in the UK, that one. £168 for a two-wheel drive kit. That is brilliant. That's a bargain. That is an absolute bargain, and it looks really neat. Now, it's not going to set the world on fire, but it is going to provide me with some fun. So I am in the market for that, I think, and that is on the OAG purchase list for some point in the new year. Right, I'm starting to lose the will to live with this a little bit because I've still got plenty to do. I've just started to realise there are some other screws missing here. There's all the screws that I need to put into this to put the shocks in that need to go in. This is not as straightforward as I wanted it to be. But then you guys knew that was going to happen, didn't you? You were sat there grinning and going, this guy does not know what he's let himself into here. He's got all the wrong stuff, all the wrong parts. He does not know what he's doing. And you know what? You'd be right. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. I haven't got a clue. Now that is supposed to go in there, and yet again, that's not going to go in because the hole on this side is not big enough. So I think we'll just whack a self-tapper in there and drill that out with a self-tapper. Yeah, I know, unconventional. That's me. I could get the drill out, but then you guys aren't going to be able to hear me if I've got a drill going, are you? If I put a self-tapper in here, that's just going to open that hole up a little bit. This isn't going to work, is it? It's not going to work, Craig, because that's not going to go in there easily. You're right, I don't know what I'm doing. I read your mind. So, that's quite a lot of additional RC cars that I've been chatting about while I've been doing this. What do you fancy? What do you like the look of? I think this video is almost getting to the point where I've had enough. What's coming up on the channel? Well, I've got some more Orchard Raceway action to look forward to. That's coming in the next month or so. I really need to give a shout out to all my channel members. There's quite a few of them now, actually. It's 4 channel members who... Oh, no! Oh, no, I broke it. Ah. All that hard work of doing that, and I've just put a screw in there and bust it. Oh, that's just typical, isn't it? That's the story of my life, that is. Look at that. What a grumpy old man I'm going to be now. So, that was fun, wasn't it? All that hard work, all that filing, and I now can't use that piece because I bust it. 3D printing is probably not the future. I would have hoped that the plastic would have been able to take me putting a little tiny screw like that through to open up the thread on it. That is disappointing, isn't it? So the Falcon goes back on the pile to be... If you don't laugh, you cry, wouldn't you, sometimes? The Falcon goes back on the pile to be fixed. I could glue that together and give it another go, but I'm not entirely convinced that that's going to hold up to much, even if I was to glue it, I think, because it was already pretty loose. Wow, dear, oh dear. Anyone got any Falcon arms they want to send me? I would welcome having some, because it would make this repair job quite a bit easier. If you've got some Falcon arms you want to share with me, reach out to me, the OAG180@gmail.com. So what was I saying before I broke that apart? I can't remember what I was saying now. Yes, channel members. Thanks ever so much for watching and being channel members, chaps. There's 4 channel members, 4 of you, and they tune in every month, and you too can be a channel member. If you click on the membership options for the channel, you can join in and get access to some of my videos early, and every time I do you a members only video. Maybe we'll do a members only benchtop wrenching session where you can all give me a bit of counselling when I start doing this again and break my parts before I get to put them onto the RC. Thanks for sticking with me for a half an hour or so. That was a good chat. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll be back for another one of these in a week or two's time, and we'll hopefully have some new RCs to talk about. Maybe I'll be working on the Falcon. Maybe I won't be. I'll have some time off from this model now, and we'll do something completely different. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon on the OAG RC. Bye for now.